What is going on, YouTube? It is Nata here, and I'm going to show y'all today how to do a taper into some bulk. As you can see, this guy got really long hair. He don't really want to bring it down any. And I'm going to show you guys how do you blend a taper into this bulk. So the first thing we do is we take our spray bottle and spray the hair down with some water just so that it lays flat. And then I used the wide side of my comb, then went onto the thinner side of my comb. And I do that so that way I'm not really pulling the hair and I'm detangling it before I use the thin side, because that might pull on this hair and may be uncomfortable. Now we're going with the clipper over comb, and when I do this, y'all see the angles I'm using. I'm going with the shape that I want the haircut to be. And I'm angling my comb outwards. Now, as y'all know, I like to build my canvas before I start fading. And so I went around the ear with the trimmer. And now what I'm doing is I'm putting in my first guideline with my trimmer, doing that rainbow shape so that the way the taper has that burst effect to it, makes it look really good. It makes it look enhanced without it being enhanced. And now I'm going in with my no guard lever all the way open, and I'm using the corners of my blade of my clipper so that way I'm not cutting hairs that I don't want to cut. And I'm going in the same like burst shape that we had already established. Once again, using the corners of my clipper. Make sure y'all do that, because if you use the full blade, you're gonna cut hairs that you don't want to cut. And this is a very compressed fade, so you really want to be like careful about the hairs that you cut. And I should have did this first, but I forgot, so I just went in with the shaver after. Now what this does, it just adds a little extra layer to the fade. Now I'm back in, going in halfway open or halfway closed with my lever, fading in that first line that we made. And now it's all the way closed, and I'm just still blending into that first guideline that we made. And now I'm going in with my one guard all the way open. Same thing, keeping that shape that we got going on, making my next guideline. And when you're doing this, once again, try not to go too high up into the fade. This is a very compressed fade because we're blending into all that bulk that he's got going on. And I'm still using the corners of my clipper. Like, that's a big thing with these compressed fades, is you want to be very detail oriented. And now I'm closing the lever instead of using that half guard, because this is a compressed fade. So I just close the lever to soften that transition. And the reason I don't go in with my half guard is because, once again, it's a compressed fade. It's a very compressed fade. So if you use the half guard, you have a risk of pushing the fade up too high. And now I'm going in with my no guard all the way open, just taking out that last little line that the one guard closed left. And now, like, y'all just gonna see me detail. I'm gonna let the video run. I'm gonna just be cutting hair that I think needs to be detailed or blended in better. And haircuts like this, yes, having a system works, but it's really just knowing what lever position cuts what hairs, and just detailing everything. This is a very detail oriented cut. And I'm not even really going into that bulk. I'm leaving that bulk there to create the look that the client wants, and that's that really poofed out hair kind of look. Y'all know the haircut. Y'all know this haircut, man. It's a very popular haircut, And so I'm really not even gonna touch the bulk. And right now I'm doing his C cups and just making sure everything is nice and neat for before we move on to the next side or the back. So when I'm doing his C cups, I'm not pushing it back. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm just going in with the natural flow that he's got going on in his hair. And now we're moving on to the back of his head, and I'm not gonna fade this just yet, but I'm just creating a canvas for it right now. And when you do this, I do not recommend using your trimmers. I use my trimmers here because I use them very light, but if you use your trimmers here, especially if they're zero grabbed, the back of the neck is a very sensitive area, so you have the risk of cutting your client. So if you do use your trimmers there, just be very gentle and see how the skin reacts to your trimmers. Now here, once again, I'm just detailing. I'm doing clipper over comb. Anything that I feel is too heavy, using clipper over comb, angling it outwards and blending the bulk in smoothly. Y'all know what I mean? So this is a haircut that is, it's not hard, but you just gotta be very detail oriented when doing this type of haircut. So I'm just, once again, creating the canvas for when I do get back here and fade the back, it's all ready to go. And I don't have to waste time creating everything once I get to it. And now what I'm doing here is, once again, I'm doing clipper over comb, and I'm doing the same thing I did on the other side, just creating that shape, and you know what I mean, just creating the canvas for this haircut, going with the shape of his head, getting rid of some of that bulk on the side so you can really see the taper, and also so the hair is not falling in front of the taper, so it's not covering the actual haircut. Now when doing this, once again, I'm angling my comb outwards, and this is a lot faster than doing scissors or anything like that, because you don't want to waste time when you don't need to. So I'm just doing clipper over comb. Now I'm using my trimmers to just clean up and create the canvas. Once again, man, I like creating my canvas before I start my fading process, because that way I know what I'm fading into, I know what I want the haircut to look like, and it just makes everything a lot easier. Now as I start this fade in the back, I wet his hair once again, just so everything lays down the way I want it to. I'm using the wide side of my comb and brushing his hair in its natural position. Now I'm going in with my no guard lever all the way open. Same fading process for everything, man. When you fade it, it's the same thing. So lever all the way open, and then once I finish creating that line, y'all will see I slowly start closing the lever as I go down to get rid of that first guideline we made. Now I'm going with my one guard all the way open, using that comb as basically another guard, just so that I'm feeding the hair into the guard that I'm using, and so that I'm not taking it up too high either. Because as you can see, I do not have a lot of room to work with here. This is a very compressed phase all the way around. So I'm just feeding the hairs into the comb, so I'm cutting exactly how much hair I want to cut. And I feel like it does give it a smoother transition, because I'm still flicking out. Like, as y'all see, like, I'm still flicking out even though I'm using a comb, which that's a big thing. Is make sure where you're fading, you're flicking out, you're doing that flick out motion, so that way you don't create such harsh lines. And now I'm just cleaning up, making sure that everything is at that one guard length. And then I'm closing the lever all the way, making that line from the no guard to the one guard as soft as possible. And now I'm doing the same thing that I did with my one guard, except with the 1.5. I'm using the comb as basically another guard, feeding the hairs through the comb that I'm using. As you can see, bro, it's blending in pretty good. I'm blending into that bulk already. So after this, it's really just gonna be detail work, just detailing the cut, cutting the hairs that need to be cut, making sure everything blends in smoothly and nicely together. And before I started fading the other side of his hair, I realized that I didn't really like how it was squared off into that, going into that other side of his hair. So I just rounded it off with the 1.5, freehanding, just blending everything nice together. Once again, with cuts like this, it's not going to be a set system. It's going to be what you see with your own eyes, and cutting hairs that need to be cut, and that's going to involve some freehanding. That's going to involve thinking outside of the box a little bit. So not every haircut is going to be the one guard blending into the two guard blending into the, you know what I mean? You're going to have to freehand a little bit, and that comes with time, that comes with experience. And trust me, you could do it, because once again, I'm not the most experienced barber, man, and I just if the cut looks good, the cut looks good. You're gonna find your own way to cut hair. You're gonna find what works for you. Everyone cuts hair different, and at the end of the day, it's an art. It's an art, and the only way you can get better is by practicing. So I went in with the same system I did on the other side, no guard open, and now I'm just taking out that first line I created while you put in the guard halfway and then all the way closed. And now I'm gonna go in with my one guard, creating that same shape that we already have going on, and creating my second guideline. And it's just gonna be the same thing we did on the other side. Y'all will see me close it. On this side, I actually did go in with the half guard. I felt like the line didn't really come out the way I wanted it to, and I felt like the no guard all the way open was cutting too much, so I did go in with my half guard. But when I did that, I was very careful, very tedious with it. I was using the corners as I've been doing this whole cut, basically just using the corners of my blade and being very tedious with the hairs that I cut. And I just keep going at it, keep detailing. I got my no guard here, I think, and I just keep going at it and detailing, and until I see that the cut is basically perfect. So yep, as you can see here, I did go on my half just to take out that last little line you see there, and it actually worked out pretty perfect. So I think the cut came out really good at the end, and that half guard did help a lot. But as you can see, I'm being very, very careful with it, playing with the lever, seeing what cuts what doesn't cut. And once I see that line disappear, I just keep it there. I don't push the fade too high up. I keep it the same as the other side, and I just keep playing with the guards and playing with the levers. And yeah, y'all will figure it out, man. Trust me. Like, not every cut is gonna be the same. Not every cut you can use the same system on every cut, but every cut you need to tweak it towards what works best for that client's hair, the look they're going for, and things of that nature. So like, cuts like this really do test your skills and help you grow as a barber. So my client didn't really want to take anything off the top, but he didn't want his hair to fall like in front of his face, and he also didn't want it as pointy as it was. So he wanted it right above the eyebrows. He didn't want a straight line like an Edgar cut, but he also didn't want it as sharp as he already had it. So What I did is just I rounded it off, kept it not straight so it wasn't like an Edgar, and I just used my scissors for that. Now when you're cutting your client's hair like this, make sure you are cleaning it off, because that hair on their face can irritate them and bug them, and things like that will make your client want to come back because they see that you're taking that extra step for them. And I did add some enhancements to this cut just to make the taper pop a little more. And when you do this, be careful not to add too much paint. I did add a little bit too much paint on one side than I would like. So what I did was I grabbed my brush and I kind of just brushed it out a little bit. But we're doing this, just make sure you're hitting the edge of the card and that the enhancements are just barely touching it. I personally think enhancements make the cut look better and like make the fade pop more. But when you do the enhancements, try not to go overboard with them. Too much enhancements definitely can ruin a cut, and they're not with enhancements, they're not gonna make a bad cut look good. They're gonna make a good cut pop. And they can also ruin a good cut. If you put too much, it'll just, in my opinion, it can make the cut not look the best. I personally do like enhancements though. I feel like they make the cut look better. And I feel like they just make the taper pop a little more. And now once I'm done with that, I'm going to start styling the hair. So I just put some powder in, really putting it into the roots of his hair just to make him get that look that he wants. And as you can see, man, this cut is fire in my opinion. I think it looked really good. He was very happy with the cut. Now, before my client left this, I seen while I was showing him the cut through the mirror, I seen the weight line in the back, and for me, it was a little too harsh. So don't never let your client leave if you see something. If you see something, even though they may not see it, make sure you fix it before they leave. So I seen it in the mirror. I didn't really notice it with my own eyes, but when I was showing him the cut, I was like, okay, I think the line is a little too harsh. Let me soften that up. Let me go back and fix that for him. So I just went back there and did some detail work, as y'all can see here. And things like that, man, your client will notice it, bro. He will notice it. And don't never be afraid to sit your client back down and fix something. You know, I could have let him leave. He said he loved the cut, but I noticed some. So I was like, let me go on my 2-guard and soften up that line into the bulk a little more. YouTube, that is the cut, man. I think this type of cut looks fire, bro. I think it came out amazing. It looks so cool. It's like, I don't know, his hair is like spiky, and I don't know, it just fits this style well. But YouTube, thank you for watching, and if y'all got something out this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, man. Comment down below what you want to see next, and subscribe to your boy. I'll see y'all in the next one, bruh. 90-day run is day 6. Let's get it.